What's going on, everyone? We got a lot to talk about here, don't we? So we got 2 pages um, talking about this Grand Game Award where Phil Spencer just got this award, and then we got another one where he gives, I guess, the full out speech. I don't know if they have the video up or not, but it says Phil Spencer wins first ever industry icon title from Grand Game Awards. Congratulations, we're not haters over here. Controversial pick amid Xbox's decline. And then you're wondering, like, because I've seen some comments already. You gotta kind of know how that is, and you guys know how that is. There's definitely haters coming in, but then at the same time, there's questions too. To why didn't you show up at the Game Awards, but you showed up to get that award? I don't know. Maybe he may say something. I don't know. I think there's something going on with that too as well. But what I will say is congratulations, and let's get into this. Okay, so going over here, it says the Grand Game Awards hosted their third annual event yesterday. You guys don't know about that. Phil Spencer was given the show's first industry icon award at this event, and this is covering since he took over leadership. The pick has become controversial due to declining popularity of Xbox consoles. As I told you before, when he came and appeared too, it's like he wasn't with Microsoft before. He was handed an impossible job. So I'm not going to blame one guy when Don Matrick handed him a crazy train. Now, did he make some mistakes? Obviously, yeah, but I know Phil Spencer's likable. I like the guy. He's not rude. I've never seen him snap at anyone. He has it together introvertedly, and he's pretty mature emotionally. And he's a nice person off the camera, I'm pretty sure, and is a good father and all that. Now, what some people are trying to say too, so we got some comments. We could take a look at this down here over here. This guy says, he's certainly an interesting figure. I like Spencer. To me, he is breaking down barriers for gamers. Under Spencer's leadership, Xbox has focused on accessibility, delivery of the Series X and S consoles, which I felt did a lot to create an enthusiast and entry-level market again, and built Xbox Studios into one of the largest set of studios in the world. Yes, Xbox has changed directions a few times, downsized studios, and has gone multi-platform. Well, there's multiple decisions being led here, not just that. Gaming studio downsizing has happened with every publisher, so this is not new. The direction changes, I think, were inevitable, and let's face it, Xbox alone could not fund all the studios they have, and the regulators who improved the deal Xbox made for ZeniMax and Activision would have taken action had Xbox made all those titles solely exclusive to Xbox. At some point, Xbox has to stand on its own, and Spencer has made that happen through the changes made. I expect that after the next gen starts, Spencer will step aside and allow someone else to stay on a stable course he is creating. This guy says, good for him. He deserves it. This is on the Xbox website. On Twitter, it's negative, but you know how that is. He has done great things for Xbox. I think he really is a gamer like us. Well deserved. He's been at Microsoft for over 35 years and at Xbox since it started. Yeah, he has. While I haven't liked all Microsoft's recent decision-making, basically since the Activision deal, he's proven to be an asset to the gaming industry and Xbox. He understands things. Like, he goes over to Japan all the time, brought Sega stuff over here. And this guy says he deserves it after cleaning up Don Matrick's mess. As I said, that guy is the one who literally messed up everything. Oh, God. They say he's a great guy. But if you go on Twitter, it's like Xbox has been declining significantly. Why does he deserve this award? Blah, 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 this and that. And my thing is that that's like you're saying that Xbox is in a position that it is in because of him. That's not necessarily true. I'm going to say that's bullcrap. No, there's a lot more factors that go in. There's a lot more people that have been in the Xbox division since Phil Spencer has been there. And I think these are things that people don't calculate together. Now, like I said, he's made his mistakes. I've seen some stuff he said that I didn't agree with in the past with single player games and all that. But overall, Phil Spencer's an awesome guy. But yeah, I mean, and like I said before, if you try to put anyone else in that place that he had, though we can't rewind and do that, I don't think they would have done a better job. All right, so it says the Game Awards concluded over a week ago, but the industry has continued to recognize the best awards in talent with other awards since then. Among recent award shows, the Grand Game Awards returned recently for their annual run. Featured industry veterans like Peter Moore. This year's event was bigger and bolder than the last, crowning Claire the Grand Game of the Year. Moreover, Phil Spencer was awarded the show's first ever Industry Icon Award. Why it matters, Phil Spencer is among the industry's most recognized individuals and has been leading the charge of Xbox for well over a decade. Phil Spencer just appeared at the Grand Game Awards accepting the industry icon. The Grand Game Awards hosted their third annual event in Aldria. I think it's Aldria. I don't know. I've only seen that a few times. In 2025, and distributed awards across a variety of categories. These included Best Action Game, Best Indie Game, Best Mobile, and more. This year's show also introduced the Industry Icon Award crowning Phil Spencer the Victor, sorry. Accepting this title, the CEO of Microsoft Gaming thanked the Grand Game Awards and credited the entire Xbox team for this achievement. He reiterated Xbox's focus on bringing games to as many people in as many ways as possible. According to the Microsoft Gaming CEO, the team has made real progress towards this goal in 2025. Okay, bringing games, yes, after the Monopoly. I could say you've done that. But all that other stuff, good lord. But I know that wasn't pretty much his decision. Then we don't have to get into that. I've said this in multiple videos. You guys know what I mean. The way they ended 2025 is abysmal. Definitely after the recent November sales. So, yeah. But Phil Spencer says, thank you for the recognition. I'm honored to share this with the team and the community that inspires us every day. And there's a lot more what he said. We'll get to that on the other site over here. It says, reactions to this pick have been quite interesting so far. Many have pointed out that the current state of Xbox, noting that the console business is in shambles, stating that this selection come across as tone deaf for that reason. That's the thing. A lot of people are not going to agree with that because they're going to blame everything on the scapegoat. However, others believe Phil Spencer was deserving of the title for his contributions to the industry over the years. It's a double-edged sword no matter what, because of the state that Xbox is in. He's going to get blamed for it because people were used to seeing his face, or they're going to shift it to people like Sarah Bond, who just showed up not too long ago for a little bit that's been there. And then also the Matt Booty guy as well, who I believe, yeah, I mean, Phil Spencer is definitely a lot better than him. And then down here it says, what do you think about Phil Spencer winning at the Grand Game Awards? Let's discuss in the comments and on the Tech for Gamers forums. Now, like I said, Phil Spencer probably did the best that he could from his position. Like I said, he's made some mistakes, but he's done a good job of taking on an impossible job pretty much. And it's an impossible job. I don't care what you say. After what happened with Don Matrick and Sony getting that grand lead and then just slamming in that era, the developers just couldn't deliver with Halo. That's not his fault. They couldn't deliver with Gears like they were supposed to, and all that was left was Forza. So he looked at opportunities and introduced Game Pass along with Satya stepping in too to try to see what they could do to make the brand stronger, because they lost everything after that at E3. And I'm telling you, and Sony had everything. And then when they won that generation, what are you going to do this generation? No, you had the carryover. There's nothing you can do about that. So I think what he did is probably as best as you could. No matter what he did, it wasn't you weren't going to beat Sony. You know what I mean? You're not going to beat Nintendo either, because Sony doesn't beat Nintendo in that sort of sense. And, you know, except like sometimes on the hardware front to here and there. But when you think about totality with their software numbers, it's absolutely insane. And we're just talking about results here. I thought Game Pass was a wonderful idea, but maybe too early to think that it was going to be a Netflix, because gaming is different than the way the movie industry was working. Because at that time, DVDs and Blu-rays were dying big time. But you didn't see console physical sales dying like that. They still sell millions. Now it's kind of getting to that point to where there is some hits because of the prices, but it's not the same as DVDs and Blu-rays. It's a totally different thing going on there. So now going over to here, this is what Phil Spencer said in general. He says, thank you to the Grand Game Awards for this honor. It's truly special to join you as you broadcast for Algeria, I don't know, one of the two, to the world. I'm grateful to be part of your celebration of games and the people who make and play them. I'm honored to accept this Industry Icon Award. It has my name on it, but it's really on behalf of the whole Xbox team over many years, of course. The thousands of creators, developers, and all the teams and partners that show up every day to serve players and empower developers for the parts that have done that. At Xbox, our mission is simple: to bring the joy and community of gaming to more players. We said at Xbox, not Microsoft. However, and wherever they want to play, we've made real progress towards that goal, and we know that there's more opportunity ahead. We'll keep listening to players. Well, maybe you do, Phil, but, you know, there's supporting creators and investing in choice. I'm trying to be nice here. What drives us is the same thing that brings all of you together today. That moment when a great game invites you in and makes you feel part of something bigger. You know he's good with these words. Thank you again for this recognition and for everything you do to lift this industry. I'm honored to share this with the team and with the community that inspires us every day. as expected for him to write something good like this. Like I said, Phil Spencer is pretty professional. He knows how to play that character, and he does a good job at it. And then it said he appeared here to get that award. And then you can go to Twitter over here to basically see how he accepted this award. Right here.
Grand Game Awards for this honor. It's truly special to join you as you broadcast from Algeria to the world. I'm grateful to be part of your celebration of games and the people who make and play them. I'm honored to accept this Industry Icon Award. It has my name on it, but it's really on behalf of the whole Xbox team over many years. The thousands of creators, developers, and all the teams and partners who show up every day to serve players and empower developers. At Xbox, our mission is simple: to bring the joy and community of gaming to more players, however and wherever they want to play. We've made real progress towards that goal, and we know there's more opportunity ahead. We'll keep listening to players, supporting creators, and investing in choice. What drives us is the same thing that brings all of you together today. That moment when a great game invites you in and makes you feel part of something bigger. Thank you again for the recognition and for everything you do to lift this industry. I'm honored to share this with the team and with the community that inspires us every day. And congratulations to all the nominees and winners. I can't wait to see what you all create next.
He's looking more healthy. Boy, that's good. Maybe he's been taking those breaks and those vacations. He's needed it. So, when we get down to these comments, this is what I was saying. Sorry, but why? More lies, or for destroying Xbox, they're blaming him for doing that. This guy's laughing. You know what that means? Well-deserved. More closure and game cancellations than releases. He doesn't deserve anything. Praising a leading figure for, without a doubt, the worst of the major game companies this year is certainly a choice. So you see people down here coming in, and then there was another thread that I looked on that people were obviously coming in and saying what they want to say, but that's going to happen, you know what I mean? Because of the state of Xbox, and they're blaming it on him, which I think that's kind of a far cry. There's a lot more to that, and there's a lot more hands-in and decisions that are made at the top by the agents, by the suits, and by other people who just didn't deliver on a development standpoint. So he looked for other things. Now, I'm not saying he did a phenomenal job, and I can't, say that. You guys know what I've said in my videos before, but I kind of, don't want to get back into that again. So that's kind of like what happens. But once again, hey, they chose to give it to you. Congratulations. I'm not a hater. Like I said, this is really not about this year, but it's about since, for the longest. He outlasted a lot of people. He never got fired, obviously, because they didn't want to do that. So he's still there, and they gave him that award. Now, obviously, there's other people that are not around that probably could have received that, but hey, Phil Spencer got it, so that's how it is. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Phil Spencer deserved this award? Do you think he doesn't deserve this award? Do you think he's the reason that Xbox failed? I'm going to tell you no, because like I said, he was handed an impossible job. That's how things end up becoming anyways, and I think he did the best he could to deal with that crazy train, because that's what it is. And it's not any easier right now. It's actually... yeah, definitely off the rails in a lot of ways. So how are you going to get that back stable? Well, being a really good publisher and making the right decisions from here on out. As far as hardware, I just don't think there's much hope. And who knows what's going to be happening with the Magnus. Hopefully it gets into you guys' hand and you get what you deserve. We'll see. But that's pretty much it, what I have to say about this. Interesting stuff here. And if you have any questions about the Game Awards stuff, or you have something to say about it, on why you think Phil Spencer didn't show, let me know. Because I think a lot of people want answers for that. It doesn't have to be negative, but it's like, we're wondering why you didn't show up to the Game Awards. But all right, later, y'all. Peace out.